Hey, peace. We are live. Apologies about the previous stream. StreamYard was having some technical difficulties, so I want to apologize about that. But we are back. We're back live again. Dynasty Research for Huru. Thank you so much for joining. Before we get started, please hit the like button and please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Tours. We are rolling to Nigeria in a couple of weeks. Again, we are rolling to Nigeria in a couple of weeks. If you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. We will love to have you all on our tour. And we're also going to Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. That's September 21st to the 30th. Then we are rolling to, where else are we going? Namibia and South Africa. That is November 8th through the 18th. No, guys, go to the site. Go to donfo.africa. Then I know we're going to Sierra Leone in December, and that is December 20th through the 29th. So, yeah, we will love to have you all. November 8th through the 19th, I believe the dates are for Namibia and South Africa. But, yeah, we would we'd love to have you. Love to have you all. Come and join us on one of our experiences. Oh, I messed up the title, guys. I'm just noticing that our Afro-Latinos are the. Oh man, hold on, guys. I gotta fix that. Let me see if they'll let me fix it. In the back chat, I apologize. Not in the back chat, but in the studio. Let me see if they'll fix it. Yeah, I apologize about that, guys. I messed up the title. I think you guys get it. Let's see. Afro-Latinos. Are Afro-Latinos the most oppressed group? Here we go. There we go. I made the changes. Hopefully it's updated. But again, I apologize about that, But yeah. But hit the like button, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Please visit donfo.africa. Let's jump into today's topic. And once again, I apologize about the technical difficulties. On the earlier stream, it was StreamYard. StreamYard had an outage that lasted for about an hour, but we are back. So this idea that Black folks must come together with the most oppressed peoples and take on the burden of the most oppressed peoples. But one group of people who, me personally, I think are the most oppressed are Afro-Latinos by far. Again, if you ask me, they're Afro-Latinos. So we see what's going on in LA with these ICE deportations. And of course, people are saying, these people are oppressed, and Black people need to come together with these oppressed peoples. And I'm like, where are the Afro-Latinos? How are the Afro-Latinos treated in Mexico? Again, how are Afro-Latinos treated in Mexico? In these countries where Afro-Latinos are the minorities, they are at the bottom. Those are the people who are really oppressed. There's no DEI. There's no 2%. I mean, I'm sorry. There's no. Tim, I'm reading your chat, your comment, and call in. There's no DEI. There's no civil rights. There's no upward mobility for them. They are by far, if you ask me, the most oppressed. PP Bob, pause. Jesus. That's not what happened, PP Bob. Literally, the YouTube. And I knew something was wrong because when I put the link in the chat room, like they're not represented at all. They have no representation. Like, what representation do Afro-Latinos have in Mexico? or Brazil? What representation do they have? So when we see our Mexican brothers and sisters saying that they're oppressed, that are here illegally, and saying they're being targeted, I'm like, well, no, well, hold on. There's actually a group that is in Mexico that's more oppressed than you. Now, if you disagree with me, you're more than welcome to call in. And yes, there are some Afro-Latinos that do pull the me no black, me no black. That does exist. But for the most part, the Afro-Latinos coming from these countries are by far the most oppressed. But guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in. Colombia just elected the first Afro-Colombian vice president, Francisca Marquez. Let me pull her up real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Come on, let me pull her up. Let me pull her up real quick. That's what I'm talking about. .43, she's young. Okay. Congratulations. I like to see that Afro-Colombians are making moves. There she is. No, they did. So they did. Mexico started taking race-based census. They did maybe what, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. Hold on, Dinah, and she has been called all kinds of monkey by our own Colombian people. Of course she has. That's what I'm saying. The Afro-Latinos have it the worst. Afro-Latinos have it the worst. Somebody said who she's married to. Let's see here. She might not be married. Let's pull up the Wikipedia. Got her kente on. Got her kente wax on. Personal life. I don't think she's married. She's single. Are you trying to holler? There we go. Carrie, say Carrie, like you said, the media. You look at Telemundo, it looks. You look at Telemundo. I mean, it looks white television. I mean, Afro Latinos are represented less in their homes, in their countries, on the TV and media than we are here in America. Far less. Far less. But guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. If not, we'll Tim, you're more than welcome to call in. You are more than welcome to call in. Well, some do deny their blackness, but not all. I mean, we got black folks here in America now talk about they Native American Indians, so it goes both ways. Like I said, we got black folks here in America claiming to be Native American Indians, and we got hold on. I'll show you another one. Hold on, here we go. Let me pull up this real quick. Give me a second. We got this as well. This Let's see here. Kevin Gates. Hold on, let me find this. God, where's this? I just had this interview pulled up that Kevin Gates did that he said he ain't black. He said he's offended the most if you call him black. He said, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. I found it. So it's just not Afro-Latinos, it's ADOS FBA as well.
Tell me is that I'm black. Because that's not what I am. I don't subscribe to that indoctrination.
What do you subscribe to?
I mean, African people come from Africa. So Chinese people come from China. Ain't no continent called black.
Yeah.
Like, the most offensive thing somebody could tell me is that I'm black. Because that's not what I am. I don't subscribe to that indoctrination.
What do you subscribe to?
I mean, African people come from Africa. So Chinese people come from China. Ain't no continent called black.
Yeah.
Like, the most offensive thing somebody could tell me is that I'm black. Because that's not what I am. I don't subscribe to that indoctrination.
What do you subscribe to?
I mean, African people come from Africa. So Chinese people come from China. Ain't no continent called black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's not just it's just not Afro-Latinos not claiming their blackness. So there we go. All right, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they're the most oppressed, but I tell you what, one thing, they're the most blatantly disrespected, both by other people and them by themselves. The Brazilians, that you barely even know they exist, and there's more of them there than they are even here in the United States. But how many people don't even know that because they're so blatantly suppressed? They had a president. The last president was blatantly out in public talk about black people, how he didn't like them, how they're wasting their lives, and how they weren't ever going to be part of society. They just come out and say it. So I mean, maybe that's the reason why they hate themselves so much. It's very strange.
Really?
But
So
again,
which president was this? The
Bolsonaro.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he was blatantly out in public saying these things. No apology, no nothing. They don't have that white guilt down there. So yeah, it's I feel terrible for them. They can't even get, some of those black people can't even get visas to leave the place.
Well, see, Alan, that's the thing. So if you notice in a lot of these countries, these Latino countries where there's the Afro-Latino population, you don't I never met a black Brazilian here in America.
No, they don't. They're not allowed. They're pretty much not allowed to leave. It's really bad. It's really bad. They're just isolated, put in their own areas, and the only black Brazilian who you even know, if it wasn't for Pele, you wouldn't even know they existed.
Right.
And like I said, there's way more black people because slavery lasted longer in Brazil than it did here. They didn't abolish slavery until the mid 1880s, right? So they were the last country in the world to abolish slavery. Then there are other places in South America where they've kind of Argentina, where they pretty much breeded out the blackness out of the society by adding Europeans, and that was purposefully done, and they'll tell you that. Latin America is tough, and then in the islands, Cuba. Not so much Cuba anymore because of the revolution, but Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, you don't really see those people put out there either. They're not, they're so sick with their racism, they discriminate against people within their own families. They all have a black abuela, but they don't like they don't want to be identified as black. So that might be changing in the Dominican Republic, but not much.
Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, thank you for having me up. I think, I don't know if this is a fact or anything, but I've been thinking about it, and to me, Hispanic people and the people who are in like Hispanic countries are overtly racist because they don't really dominate anything on a global scale. So the only thing that they can really hang their hat on is their non-blackness. Like what the closest like is, I think it's sort of ironic, the people who have like the most amount of melanin compared like in comparative to black people are the most seemingly racist towards them, and also people who don't have any sort of things going on for them kind of just reduce themselves to racist tactics. They aren't really sophisticated enough to have like a virtue signaling class like white people do. So they just, reduce themselves to being more overt with them. I kind of compare them to like Billy Bob in Appalachia, who never really did anything with his life. So he can only really hang his hat on just being white. That's kind of what they remind me of when you talk about the overt racism amongst Latinos.
All right, guys. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in, at Tim Asuna, call in, man. Go ahead and call in.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, and then you watch what my man Sammy Sosa did to himself.
Well, he said he had run a Lego, whatever it's called, allegedly.
It's a lie. It's a lie because he's gotten dark. He's gotten dark again.
Okay.
So he's lying. He first he said it was just a refresh. He was refreshing his skin, and
refreshing his skin.
Yeah, it said so. That's what it was. He said it was a chemical peel, and that's a hell of a peel. but he looked he was a white man for a little while, and that's what he ultimately wanted to be. Because he was as black as me. He's not that black anymore, but he's darker, and it's all over. It's even. So that's not how vitiligo works. Oftentimes, our people like to hide behind vitiligo, and that's not how that works.
So, do you think Michael Jackson really had it or not?
No.
Okay.
No. And Quincy Jones said as much. Before he died.
Really? What was this?
He said, man, he ain't have no vitiligo. He said, and then they told Quincy to shut up, basically. But Quincy was saying stuff about him. He said Michael Jackson was greedy, and that he did all that plastic surgery to himself, and he said he didn't have vitiligo.
Well, I missed this.
Yeah, it was very brief. He was talking a little bit too much, and then people were I guess somebody might have threatened and said, man, you got way too many skeletons in your closet, Quincy, for you to be talking about somebody else. And then he just shut up before he died.
Well, I mean, was this an interview or?
It was an interview, I believe. I don't think it's filmed, but I know that he was quoted as having said it, and then he, be quiet. He didn't retract any of it, but he just didn't say anything else. And I think his daughter was telling him he needs to, pipe down a little bit. But yeah, he talked bad about Michael because him and Michael towards the end didn't really quite get along, which was interesting.
Well, if Michael didn't have vitiligo, I think whatever he had was like some advanced cake soap, because whatever he did to himself, I mean, he had really white skin. It wasn't like that, 'cause he was like 50 years old. So I think he had some advanced cake soap, because whatever he did to himself, I mean, he had really white skin. It wasn't like that, 'cause he was 50 years old. So I think he had some advanced cake soap, because whatever he did to himself, I mean, he had really white skin. It wasn't like that, pinkish kind of skin that you see in the Caribbean. So his doctor, his cake soap doctor, must be really good.
Yeah, no, he. I mean, you know this. Michael could afford the best back then. You know, also he got a cleft put in his chin, and he had his nose was narrowed to the point where it disappeared. You know, he was doing a lot of stuff.
I think what the most believable part about it was they say it started on his hand, so he was just wearing that glove. So people kind of was like, "Oh, that makes sense. He's kind of embarrassed by it." So you know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, vitiligo doesn't put a cleft in your chin.
No,
Vitiligo
I
doesn't
know that's
make you narrow
plastic
your
surgery.
nose. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
plastic surgery. He had lots of it, and
Oh
you
yeah,
could see
yeah.
it in his face. So I mean, listen, there's always the possibility he had it, but you know, he's this is an issue with darker people all over the place. Indians bleach themselves. People in Asia, depending on what country you're in, they bleach themselves a lot. You know, Nigerians, Jamaicans, you know, people bleach themselves, and because of what we've been taught about darker skin and what it means. You know, it's hard to be around a Nigerian community and not find the older woman who's, you know, bleached all hell.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not even an issue. Matter of fact, in one of my favorite Nigerian movies, in King of Boys, they made fun of that. They actually had that lady who's the lead in there. She's bleached, and then they flashed her back as a little girl, and she was dark, and just left it in there. They just, you know, it's like normal. And so the Latinos are definitely, you know, once they get a little bit of money, the first thing they do is get a Jericho curl and try to lighten their skin. It's a sickness that we all have.
Go ahead, Larry.
Hello. Michael Jackson did have vitiligo.
Real okay, go ahead.
Autopsy report showed it. Two things here. He did have vitiligo, and he did have a desire to make his skin look pale. The reason he wore that glove was because the vitiligo was showing on the fingers on that glove that he used to cover his right hand when he became popular in the 80s with that one glove thing. If he actually took the gloves off, you'd see that his fingernails, well, not his fingernails, his fingers, the color was changing, which is why later on in the 90s or the late 80s, when he was on the Bad Tour, he would then cover his fingers with what looked like plaster. If you look at the live footage when he'd be dancing, his fingers would be covered. So he wasn't wearing the gloves anymore. He was putting the fingers on, he was putting the plastics thing over his fingers. If he took off his top, you'd see all the blotches of his skin color changing. But then he took advantage of that and started making himself look lighter to kind of even it out. But he was having vitiligo, but he was also lightening his skin at the same time.
So both things were true. He just wanted his skin to be more cohesive. Okay.
Yeah. And then the guy was addicted to painkillers because when he was doing the Pepsi commercial, his hair caught fire. And then you can, if you see the footage, it's very horrifying. He starts doing he's walking down the stairs, explosions on either side of him, the sparks fly, his hair goes on fire. He doesn't realize it. He's still dancing and he starts twirling around, and then they have to rush on stage. And
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and then the ambulance takes him away. Then you got hooked on painkillers from that.
Yeah, I kind of doubt. The one thing I agree with you. That's you're probably right. But as far as, you know, definitely a Jericho curl on fire is, you know, that's pretty bad. Can't imagine how painful that was. And also, I'm not sure he got addicted to painkillers based on the one thing with Pepsi. I think when you have tens of surgeries, it's easy to get addicted to painkillers.
Yeah, and you know, I think I read somewhere that he had an accident with his nose. He then did the surgery, got addicted to that, and took it to a whole other level. So
yeah, I think it was the surgeries that pushed him over the top.
Because then wasn't that what killed him? He was in pain and he needed an injection, and then his doctor came over and injected him, and he OD'd or something.
Yeah, but
Well,
why did they charge the doctor for?
They charged him because he was doing sedating somebody. First of all, he's not an anesthesiologist. Secondly, he was sedating him in his home with propofol. You can't do that without medical staff available. So then he went ahead and he put Mike to sleep, and then started talking to his girlfriend on the phone. And then by the time he came back, Mike was dead.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's why he went to jail.
Okay, but how did Mike die from? Like, I'm trying to understand. How did he die?
If you're not being, whenever you're going under, you have to be monitored carefully, right? And he was not being monitored. It wasn't even possible for him to be monitored in that way without an anesthesiologist, a nurse anesthetist, all the people that you would have in a hospital who would monitor, your stuff. I was put under one time for a surgery, and my heart rate went down. And they had to during a surgery I had. So that this happens a lot. There was no reason for Michael to be dead right now. First of all, if he was doing not doing medical grade stuff in his home, and then if he was being monitored.
Same thing happened to Prince. He had problems. All those splits. He had hip problems, and he was taking drugs, painkillers. And it went bad when he took his painkillers. I think it was like fentanyl or something close to that, and he died as well because he had serious problems with his hips. I think he had an operation. He was actually walking around with a walking stick, not all the time. He didn't want people to see it, but he was using a walking stick towards.
He made it look cool though. He made that walking stick look cool, didn't he?
Basically, yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, but it was all that, jumping off speakers and jumping off chairs to do the splits in his high heels when he was dancing. That messed up his
Hey, Larry, how do you feel about what's her name in the Yoruba conservative? What's her name? Kemi?
Well, Badenoch.
Yeah, how do you feel about her?
I don't actually have a problem with her because she's consistent. She's never tried to make out she was pro-black. She never made out she was Pan-Africanist. She's there, basically, she's a conservative, and she's there to help her constituency, and she's right-wing. So it's like I can't fault her for that. She isn't a sellout because she was never pro-black and then changed. She was always on that path. The same as Candace Owens. Candace Owens never been pro-black. I think she's always been like right-wing and stuff. So I don't have a problem with it.
Candace is a little different. Candace does actually. She doesn't want to date black men, but she doesn't mind black people. I get the impression that lady over in Britain just doesn't want to associate with other Africans at all.
She doesn't have a problem with. Well, I don't know about the Caribbeans, but she doesn't have a problem with her own people, Nigerians, Yorubas.
Oh, she doesn't? Okay. Oh, Yorubas. Okay.
But she's married to a white man. That's why her surname's Badenoch or Badenoch. He's like Scottish or something. Yeah, she's the leader of the Conservative Party, which is a big deal. She's achieved a hell of a lot. It's the equivalent of her being like the leader of the Democrats in America. She's achieved that in the UK, but in the UK, black people who are successful like that are not praised by black people. The only black people who get praised in the UK are like UK drill rappers, soccer players, and R&B. That's it. But if you're something else and successful, you won't get praised by black people in the UK. You have to be a sports star or a drill rapper.
So Larry, in like corporate the UK, like what kind of opportunities for black people? So like here, I mean, you could get a job. I mean, if you're highly educated and skilled, making 6 figures a year, like are those opportunities for black people in the UK?
Well, I'll give you an example of my life. I'd say 10 years ago, I had a contract job. I work in IT. I was working for Cisco Systems in the UK. I was working in their office. And I got an email, or somehow I found that the black employees would get together to meet up and discuss issues. No problem at all. So I decided to visit it whilst I was at work. It was during lunch break, and I turned up there and I sat down and I saw the black people who came in who were also working for Cisco. and the door closed, and they all began to introduce themselves and what they did, the people who were like chairing the meeting. And I was listening to people who were like directors, project managers, and managers of departments. One guy was the director of sales, and he was a black guy of Nigerian descent. And he was the director of sales at Cisco in the UK. And there were people there who were managers of various departments, finance department. So as a contractor, the numerous corporations I've worked in, I've come across many black people, whether they are of African descent or Caribbean descent, who are project managers, who are in high-level positions in IT or high-level positions within marketing and sales. So I've worked amongst those people, or I've been in the same company as them, so I see them. So the opportunities are there, and there are people who take advantage of them, whether they are of African or Caribbean descent, and they achieve that. But then there are also people who don't achieve it, and then they are struggling. But if you want to get a good picture, you have successful black people there, and you also have unsuccessful black people. So I think it's a good story. Plus, Kemi Badenoch, she's proof of that. She's like the head of the Tory party. That was the political party that Margaret Thatcher used to lead. You guys know about the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher?
I know Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
Kemi Badenoch is literally the leader of that party. I mean, to answer to your question, you do have the opportunities are there, and there are black people who take advantage of them.
Whatever happened to the Indian guy that was the prime minister?
Well, what happened was, I think was it last year? We had general elections, and his political, because he was the head of the Conservative Party that Kemi Badenoch now heads. He was the head of it, but because in the general election they failed and the Labour Party won, he then had to step down. So the Tory party, that's what they're also called, they then had to find a new leader. They went through elections within themselves, within their party, and they voted in Kemi to be the new leader. So he had to leave. His name is Rishi Patel. He was of Indian descent. So he failed in the election, so he had to step down, and Kemi won the leadership election, and now she's the leader of that party. Whether that party will achieve a success, who knows? Only time will tell. See what the future holds.
Hey, what's Speaker's Corner, Larry?
Speaker's Corner is in Hyde Park, and it's basically takes place every Sunday. And
okay, is that where the black guy, the Nation of Islam, is always talking at, or no?
Yes, yeah, he goes there. I used to go there from 2017 to 2020. I used to go there and debate a lot when I was, but I stopped going in 2020. I stopped going.
Hey, can I ask my man one question? This Nation of Islam thing, does it really work in London? Do people really follow that in London? It seems like there's too many people who are really Muslims for people to really fall for that. Is it popular?
It is popular, but it's popular amongst, what I'm going to say is a bit controversial. It's popular amongst certain types of black who tend to be of Caribbean descent. So whenever the black Americans, when you create something and it becomes popular in the UK, it's usually the Caribbeans who join it. So when you create your Israelite thing in America, guess what? We've got Israelites in the UK.
There are Israelites in the UK. Oh, that's why Lewis is what? Lewis is an Israelite. He in the UK, but he's African.
Yeah, but him being an African, he's a minority. The majority of them are like Caribbean descent, and the Nation of Islam, the majority of Caribbean.
That's not true, brother.
He'll say it's not true. But if you go and look at the ISUPK and all those guys in the UK,
no, we don't follow the ISUPK. We follow the IUIC. They're the real deal.
That's your group, but you know that there are other Israelite groups as well. You know,
yes, there are, but the dominant one is the IUIC, and you find many of their in fact their main prophet here, right? The guy who's really in charge of it, he's from Ghana.
Yeah, but the majority are Caribbean. Oh yeah, the other thing is, you know, the Moorish thing which Black Americans created. Guess what? It exists in the UK. And the majority of them are
not on a big scale. Not on a big scale. That's quite small.
Not on a big scale, but it exists. Every time the Black Americans create some organizational thing, the UK blacks will suddenly take up to it, and it'll mainly be the Caribbeans. You'll have a few Africans who join it, but
So Larry, so do you
There's a
guys?
lot more.
Hold on, 1 second, Louis. So Larry, do you guys have we not African or Caribbean? We indigenous to the
yes,
is that
yes.
is that
Not really.
There is a YouTube channel I wish which I bookmarked, and there is this woman, and they copy the Black Americans, because the Black Americans, they say they're foundational British. Because what they do is they use a history. There's a guy called Cheddar Man. Apparently,
yeah. So
these guys are now claiming that Cheddarman is proof that they are indigenous. They're a small group, though. They're not very big. They're small.
They're not. Listen, they get a couple of YouTubers that nobody knows them. I've never heard of them. First time I've heard of them. Anyway, to pick up on a point, there ain't no fucking opportunities here in the UK, bro. You can get an education, bro. You can get an education as a black man in the UK.
You're working on you. You're working.
And yeah, that ain't no fucking opportunity. Let's just work, bro. Listen, for those, listen. For those in positions of power, and I've got two relatives, okay, who've one through marriage and one through blood. And one of them's been the highest position any black person had in the UK. I'm not gonna mention names, and I'm telling you, the only way you can get up there in the UK is when they don't want to look bad in front of the world and they stick a black person out there.
Wait, sorry. When you say opportunities, Louis, what are you are you talking about jobs, or are you talking about policy?
I want to answer your question. Okay, black people, listen. They only put black people there to make it look good.
Oh, you're talking about policy.
Racist. They are as racist as they've ever been. Okay, Benedict being in that position, I was shocked. Number one, they only putting her there because they want to be part of the modern world. They know the British people are not going to vote for her to be prime minister. Trust me. Okay, and she's only there just to make it look good, and she's there because she's married to a white man. Otherwise, she would never get that position.
Was she voted in as an MP? Was she voted in as an MP?
Listen, my cousin's been an MP for about 30 years.
Answer the question. Was she voted in as an MP?
Listen to me.
Okay, Dinus, in order to become an MP, a member of parliament,
come on, I've rang in. Can I just make my point? Hello, I've rang in. Can I just make my point? Okay, this is what listen, white people perfected this, the English especially. Okay, they don't want to look bad in front of the world, so they stick a couple of you Negroes here and there, and they make sure your money is going to a white woman and not the other way around. Let's not beat about the bush. The Conservative Party, the racist bastard who was in Zimbabwe. So let's not beat about the bush. Any black person that gets in with a Conservative is a certified coon.
That's not what was really asked.
And I'll challenge you on that.
Hey, let me read this.
Listen, she became famous. She became famous by putting down Nigeria. That was her first signal to her white masters. Okay? She became famous putting down Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Ghanaian. And I got fed up with that. She had to tone that shit down. She said, coon. Okay? Britain is a racist society. You ain't gonna get nowhere, and then stick a couple of blacks here and there to make it look good. That's it.
So why do you live in England?
Opportunity.
Why do you live in England?
There's no fucking opportunity.
Why do you live in England?
The one thing good about the UK.
Why do you live in England?
The one thing. Can you let me just land? The one thing the UK.
You're crashing.
Okay, let me just land, please, because I've rang in the show. You've had plenty to say.
I'll let you crash. Go
right?
Crash.
Well, you've had plenty to say. Okay, one thing with the UK you can do if you want to go in the field of academia. Yeah, that's where you can go and learn and all that. But you know how many you know how many black professors don't get nowhere? They don't get no big job. They just stick a few blacks to make you look good. It's the same practice in America, bro. Or there ain't no fucking opportunity in the UK. There's not even much opportunities even for the white people in the UK. What are you talking about?
So why do you live in the UK?
Because I was brought up here.
You can leave the UK. You said there are no opportunities. So why are you living there?
I'm fucking leaving. Trust me, I'm leaving. What do you mean? Why I want to go back to Africa. That's why. I didn't come here to stay here.
So let me get this straight.
Opportunities were here. I would have left long time ago.
There are no opportunities there. It's a racist society, but you choose to live there.
What do you mean I chose? I had no choice. I was brought up here.
What do you mean you have no choice? You're a grown man. You can leave anytime
That's why I say I'm fucking leaving. So what's your problem? I got prepared the way before I leave. I don't want to fucking jump into fire. You see, this is the excuse that coons make. You see, this is the excuse that coons make.
Apparently, England
All
is
right?
racist and has no opportunities, but you choose to live and
Okay,
work
okay,
there.
okay. Show me
You're
one.
making no sense.
Okay, okay. Show me.
You're
Give me an
making
example.
no-
Hey, hold on, hold on. Well, I
Give
gotta
me
read
an
these.
example.
Hold on, I gotta read these super chats. So FBI Young Lion, thank you for $9. Holla. Shalom, we are God's people. FBI Young Lion, thank you for the $4.99. Holla. Not gonna lie, Dinus gives me Hamite vibes when he bows to the Babalawo voodoo witch doctors in Nigeria. Let us convert you, my dear brother. Convert me to what, FBI Young Lion? So are you a Hebrew now, FBI Young Lion? Are you a Hebrew?
If you read his previous thing, I think he is.
Elvis Morris, thank you for $10 holla for your suya, Dinus. Thank you so much, Elvis. I'm gonna give me some suya. I could buy a whole lot of suya in Nigeria for $10. Thank you so much, Elvis. All right, go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
listen.
he said I
Listen.
should give him an example of people
I have. Listen, Dinus,
That's
listen.
why he said.
Dinus,
He
listen.
lives there, he works there, but apparently there are no opportunities.
There ain't.
That's
I'm
why you
talking
live and work there.
Yeah, because I've been brought up here. And I'm a perfect example that there's no opportunities here.
So
And I've got two professions to my name. Two professions.
Exactly. You're just admitting you're working there.
He wants a better opportunity, but
my friend, listen. Even listen to me, guys. Listen.
He might not deserve a better opportunity.
Even for the working class, even for the working class white people, themselves, they don't even have opportunities. So please, just miss me with that. Give me an example of a black person who's done well.
I'll give you.
Don't talk about Idris Elba. Idris Elba had to go to America.
I'll give you an example of a black man who's done well. You, Lewis, you're living there and you're working there.
I'll kiss my ass, bro.
Exactly. If you don't like it, leave the country.
I mean, hold on.
Please.
You have to qualify.
Stop telling lies on UK. I don't know how much UK are paying you to come in and bullshit, okay? They like to stick people like Benedict there to let you other blacks know, oh, you might get somewhere. You can't get nowhere in the UK, my friend.
You can't qualify,
bro.
It's not on merit in the UK. It's who you know. Plus, it's a class system, and nobody jumps through the class system.
No, this is just victim mentality.
Just stick one of you blacks in there, and then you all start jumping like, yeah, I can make it. Make it where? You can't fucking make it in the UK. Give me an example if you want to talk about who's making it.
You're living and working in the UK.
Bro, my friend, listen. I've been living and working. Hello. I've been living and working. Hello, I've been living and working in a job that's not even my chosen profession.
So why are you doing it?
Because it's the only way I can get up there to get the hell out of this place, to practice my real profession.
How old are you now? And you've been living there for how many decades?
I'm 56 next month.
56?
I'm 56 next month.
So let me get this right. England is so racist, there are no opportunities, but you chose to live there for 56 years.
What do you mean chose? I had no choice.
You had you were held there. They tied you down in the UK. Come on, man, stop with the wine.
Listen, my friend, you gotta get capital before you can move anywhere in the world.
So in 56
what do you mean,
years,
man?
56 years, you were never able to get capital.
No, I'm telling you that. I'm telling you facts.
That's on you.
Problem?
That's on you.
Oh yeah, that is on me. It's on me and what I want to do. It's good for you. Good luck to you. Not for me, bro.
Exactly.
It ain't for me.
You take accountability for the mistakes you have made.
What mistake did I make?
Don't go running blaming the white man.
See, now you're making it personal. I'm asking you to give me an example, right, of all the people in the UK, all the black people living in the UK, what opportunity they've had. And you ain't giving me none. You telling me
I can give you many. The companies that I've worked in, I've worked amongst black people who are directors and managers in the UK. You asked me a question. Just because
I'm fucking living here too, and I'm telling you it's bullshit.
You are a failure. You failed in achieving something.
Okay,
so you want to now
bullshit. What you black people call success, when you compare it to the white people, ain't fuck all. It's better than the other blacks. That's all it is.
You stayed
That's all it is. It's better than the other blacks. That's all it is. 56 years. You stayed in the UK. Yeah.
You could have left if you felt that way about the UK. You could have left.
My friend, I've been trying to leave for fucking years.
So you've been trying to leave the UK for 56 years.
No, not for 56 years. I haven't been an adult for 56 years. That's not even a joke. Is that meant to be a joke?
So what stopped you all this time? The white man held you down and stopped you from going back to Ghana.
No, actually, he didn't.
Okay, take accountability.
No. What the fuck, my friend? Listen, It is circumstances. But if there was opportunity, listen, if there was opportunity in here, like you said, I would have left a long time ago. But it takes that long for you to get anything. It takes that long for you to get anything. Why do you think most of our people, how do you think most of our people that came here from the 60s, 70s, most of them didn't even make it back?
This is
there ain't no fucking opportunity here. Tell me the opportunities here. Tell me.
So why are you still there then? If there are no opportunities?
It's not about me. You're talking about Britain as a whole. Tell me the opportunities here. Tell me. I want to hear it.
So why are you still there if there are no opportunities?
Tell me the opportunity because I want to hear it.
You can get a job, can't you?
Oh man.
Yeah. So what? Getting a job is not an opportunity. You're pathetic. You've lived in the country for more than 40 years. And you still choose to live there, even though you believe it's a racist country that has no opportunity.
I've got no fucking choice. I was brought up.
You've got no fucking choice.
To get the fuck
out.
What
do you mean you've got no choice? Who's holding you back? Get off your backside and leave.
Hold me back. Listen.
Fault is that?
Listen. I need 25K to finish my house so I can piss off back home. You gonna
give
me that?
Get the 25K. Go get it. Work. You're a man.
You fucking asshole.
Okay, so then what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about?
Always making excuses for the white man. Always fucking making excuses for the white man. There ain't no fucking opportunity. So please give me a fucking break. You love the UK, great. It's fine. It ain't for me.
So leave.
Bitch, I'm leaving.
I gotta pass.
Are you dead? I'm leaving. Give me the money. I'll piss off tomorrow.
Oh, so we should give you a handout.
Now go stick your head out the white man's ass, you fucking dickhead. Act like you want fucking nose us back. They let one of you there and you talking about opportunity because of Benedict. Because of Benedict, who's a tool.
You're on. Hey, guy. I gotta pass.
Fucking suck your dick.
I gotta meet both of you guys. We gotta chill out. Maximilian, go ahead, Maximilian.
What's going on, Dennis? How's the trip, brother? Hey, everybody.
It was great. Go ahead.
Yeah, I try to check on you, but Dennis, I'm gonna cash on what both of them are saying. Two things can be true. And Dennis, you live in America like I do, and I'll be honest, there's no opportunities in Great Britain like there is in America, because the opportunities we have in America, we fought hard for the opportunities we have to run businesses and be entrepreneurs here, because we came up different than people from London and Britain. Dennis, I don't know if you disagree with that, and that's why you see African Americans leading the Black diaspora, because we've been through a lot to become who we are. So, I could agree with both of them. Ari saying that whatever his name is, saying there's an opportunity, but I don't see the opportunities in Britain the way I see them in America. I will say that. And then just because that a person does not see an opportunity doesn't mean he has to go leave. I can disagree and still stay. And then, Dinus, let's get to the last thing I really wanted to get at, and talking about the Mexicans and stuff. Yeah, I think it's time for them to leave, brother. I don't like the way they're asking them to leave the country, but you are here legally. And I think that they've been taking up a lot of opportunities for African Americans, construction. You can't get your car repaired in Atlanta without a Mexican running it. You can't get your truck run without a Mexican running it. These are jobs that American citizens should have. So if they want to come back the right way, they can come back the right way. But I'm a Democrat, but I'm totally with Donald Trump on everybody needs to go back home and start back over. Even the South Africans. Nobody needs to come here. We fool. That's my opinion, Dennis, but I'll be listening from this point.
All right, go ahead, Ivy. Unmute yourself, Ivy. Well, she dropped off. Okay. All right, go ahead, Larry. Well, let me Go ahead.
Yeah, look, the opportunities, you make your opportunities. If you don't see opportunities, it's easy, you leave. Now, in regards to comparing it with America, that was never, ever the discussion. Dinus just asked, are there opportunities in the UK? He never asked, are there more opportunities in the UK than the United States of America? He never said that. He wanted to know, are there opportunities? And there are opportunities. As a grown man, you make your opportunities. If you don't feel there are opportunities, then you pack up and you leave where there are opportunities. Nobody's holding you back. You're not a slave. You don't like the country, you emigrate. And if there aren't opportunities, why are there so many people from different parts of the world descending on Britain and have been doing so for more than 30 years?
Hey, Dennis, can I respond to that?
Go ahead. I'm going to pass it to Ivy. Go ahead.
And you can pass. I'm sorry about that from stepping over somebody. But I have a lot of business friends here that are from Britain and London and the UK. They tell me the same thing. There are not opportunities there. There are opportunities for you for the work there, But to be an entrepreneur and really be successful, they say those opportunities are not there. And I hear this from all the people, and these guys are doing well here. They just tell me the opportunities are not like that. I've never lived there, but I take it from people who have lived there and said it's a lot harder to make it there than it is here. That's just what I've heard.
Well, okay, there seems to be a complete. When you were asking for opportunities, were you talking about people getting jobs, or were you talking about people becoming the next Jeff Bezos? Or
jobs, like just
okay,
corporate UK.
Okay, so yeah, there are opportunities to get a job in the corporate world. Yeah, so because people are coming in talking about it to be an entrepreneur. That's not what the discussion was about. So
let me pass the Ivy. Go ahead, Ivy.
You get a job anywhere.
Hi, Diners.
Exactly.
I hope.
Hey, Ivy.
Okay, so I really appreciate the title of your show. You know, I've done a lot of traveling in Latin America, visiting the survivors of the transatlantic slave trade.
Ivy, when you come to Africa?
I am. That's on my list. Dinus. I need to get a new passport. My passport is expired. I need to do the paperwork for the whole entire family.
Ivy, how you bole and got an expired passport? You bole.
Well, it's not that because can I tell you this, Dinus?
Go ahead.
I traveled a lot in my 20s, a lot early 30s, and I'm going to be honest, I was kind of traumatized after September 11th. And I know that's a very long time ago, but I never really looked at traveling overseas the same. I think that things are pretty calm now. I think it's safe. I feel comfortable, really starting to travel a lot again. But I kind of slowed down, maybe only traveling every few years out of the country. So I feel comfortable now. So I think I'm ready. But I just wanted to share the conditions that African descendants of slaves are living in Mexico, Central America, South America, Brazil. I've never seen anything like the favelas of Brazil, and the poverty, the discrimination. So when we see these mestizos or white Latinos, the system in Latin America is very racist, is very colorist toward African descended people, descendants of slaves, even the indigenous native people of Latin America are treated like trash. So when you go to these countries, you will see the Blacks and the indigenous. We are the ones that are in poverty, living in shanty towns. It is appalling. So you don't really even see these people over in the United States. You go to Veracruz and other areas in Mexico, there's people that look like you and I. They've been there since the 1500s. They have a square in Veracruz, Mexico, that is giving honor to the slave revolt that happened there. But the people are in poverty. And these people, they do believe in a color caste system. I talked to the Latinos in Los Angeles, and this is a part of their culture. Their culture is like a colonizer mindset, a color caste system. And that's why you see primarily the white Latinos or the mestizo here. You don't really see a lot of Afro-Latinos here. So you are correct that they are oppressed. You would think it's the 1920s. They just allowed the Afro-Mexicans on the census a few years ago, and they've been there, since the 1500s. So this is the way they're operating. Turn to Univision, Telemundo. You will never see the Afro-Latinos, and you most definitely are not going to see even the indigenous, dark-skinned, indigenous people of Latin America. So it's just a fact, and thank you for exposing it.
No problem. Ivy, you're still in LA, right?
Yeah, I'm in the suburbs.
What's the suburbs? What suburb?
Listen, I don't want to. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. I'm not going to say the exact. I'll talk to you offline where I'm at, and I'll email you. But I'm in an area called Caneo Valley.
Okay, so that's
not. Like this. I'm going to put it like this.
You don't want your address.
You don't have to.
I'm going to tell you this.
What city are you in?
Can you hear me, Dinus?
I hear you, but I'm saying you don't have to give me your address. Just what city are you in?
No, I'm in Canal Valley.
What's the
Listen,
name?
well, I'm going to put by Westlake, Thousand Oaks, and my daughter.
Okay. You know, okay, about 1,000
Okay,
dollars. Okay,
and
okay.
I'm going to put it like this. I'm just from an upper middle class community, but we're sprinkled here. There's a Black community out here, and the middle class Black kids, we congregate with the upper class Black kids, and I'm close enough that my daughter was at Jamie. My daughter was at Anissa's Sweet 16 birthday party. That's Jamie Foxx's daughter.
Okay.
So the community, even if we're not friends, we do know how to come together and be in the same circles, even if you're middle class compared to the upper class, compared to even some of the, like for instance, the area am I in, what is it, Kevin Hart? His kids, well, my daughter just graduated from high school, but his daughter would be at my daughter track meets. Also Eric Dickinson. So it's an area that the area.
I know the area. It's up the 101 by
correct
Calabasas. I know where it's at.
Correct.
We live in Atlanta, sister. We used to that, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, but what I'm trying to say is that we're totally being pushed out on every level, from the working class to the professional class to the upper class. We're being pushed out. We're holding on by a thread. Our numbers, I always say California is post-Black. And that's a fact. It is post-Black, and you know that, Dynas.
It's okay. You don't have to be. You don't have to be sad. Don't worry. Trump is going to change everything for you.
Larry, one second. I'll pass you. Ivy Dream. So, what are your thoughts on the riots and the ICE situation going on in LA?
I have 3 family members, young people who they chose to go to the military, and so we support it. Wanted them to go to college, but they wanted to go to the military. That's fine. So when I see people burning the American flag, and we have 3 young people in my family who are active duty military, who are destroying businesses, it's just an insult, because I would never go to anybody's country and burn their flag. It's just disrespectful. They even harassed a poor Black woman who was trying to go to work.
Right, I saw that. What's going
on here? So we can't even go to work. We're already been pushed out.
Hey, Donnie, you saw when they called a Black cop the N-word?
I saw that too. But Maximilian, that's normal in I'm from I'm from California. I used to live in LA. That's like the norm. They use the N-word more than us.
So they didn't mean it in an egregious way. That's what you're saying?
No, I don't get. If anybody says it is an egregious way, so I don't. There's no love. I mean,
she said I spit on you. So I looked at
that's what I'm saying. Like it was definitely a egregious way.
Yeah. So I was appalled by that one.
So the conditions are bad. It really is. How the state was thriving with Black businesses and opportunities, and it's bad. It's bad. I don't know if you still have family out here, Dynas, but
well, they're in Sacramento. They've been in Sacramento, but I didn't have any family in LA. I just moved to LA in 2008, but I came back to Atlanta in 2014. But I want to go back out there and visit LA.
Yeah, I got cousins in Long Beach.
Okay, and I'm familiar. I was just out there. I have family, of course, in Southern California, Central California, the Fresno County area, and in the Bay Area. And it is bad all throughout the state.
Right.
But that's been pushed out. Yeah.
But you should be happy, Dynas. Your boy Trump's running the country and he's doing what you guys want. He's kicking out all the Black and brown immigrants. So you'll have your Black paradise again. You won't know you'll no longer be post-Black because all the immigrants will be gone.
That's not what we want. That's not what we want. What we want
is that
if you're an American citizen, we want an American citizen.
But the thing is, we don't want the discrimination.
But let me address this part first, and I want everybody to know this. We don't care who comes here. You got to come here the right way. You can't come and compete against us, and you don't have the right to be here. I can't go to Nigeria. I can't go to London, and they'll throw me out of there. And America's the only country that don't throw people out here, and that affects our economy. We have to compete against people that can work for half of what we have to work for. We're American citizens. Yes, we want our country, not white people and black people. Our country, period, as American citizens. That's all I'm saying. Now, I have no problem if somebody comes here legally, but if you're not here legally, you got to go. That's everybody.
And I agree with you. I too support legal immigration.
Right.
And the thing is that in the Los Angeles area, we have a lot of gang issues. People don't understand the danger of the gangs and the cartels in Los Angeles. People don't understand. It is serious. You know, the MS-13, they are serious. You know, the crime is serious. You know, we know that people want to work, but there is a different element. And then back in the day, a lot of people will point to, oh, well, look at the blacks, even with some of the gang situation, say like in the 90s. But a lot of those gang members were Belizean. And I know this, I'm from LA. So those gangs in the 60s, the 30s, and all of that section of the city, those were Belizean blacks. Those were not even American blacks. But when they see a black, they blame everybody. Look at the blacks.
I'm gonna tell you, and Donis, I don't want to interrupt you, sister, but one of my daughter's a warden at a federal prison. I mean, you know, you don't have to know who she is, but you know, if a Latino cannot sleep in a cell with a black man,
that's how racist it is. It has to be.
If they put you in a cell with a black man, you either got to get in a fight with him or go to the hole. You cannot sleep in a cell with a black man. That shows you why we can never align with these people. They are, and I'm not gonna say they're like the white people. They're treating their own people like this, and white people have nothing to do with this. It's hard to align with somebody who is racist as hell towards your own people. If they treat their own black people like that in their own country, how can I align with somebody here in America? You need to go.
And I've talked to my colleagues about it who are Latino, and of course they're educated and very loving people, but they do say that their families and back home is extremely racist. They are honest with me.
Right. So why should we allow you why should we allow you in a country that we fought and built with our blood and sweat to allow you to come and be racist against us in our own country? You get the hell up out of here. Go back to your country and be racist. We have no need for you here. I wish you would catch your black butt out there protesting for somebody who wouldn't even sleep in the same cell with you.
And they will call you Mayata.
Yes,
so if you hear Mayata, they're calling you a black bug or beetle.
You see Mayata. You see white men and black women married each other. You see black men and white women marry each other. Show me a brother that's married a Mexican girl.
I know a couple in California. I know.
They get married. My cousin is married to a Mexican woman, and she's a very nice young lady. And she's an American. She's an American.
Now, let me tell you what.
I know a couple.
Let me get it across my point, Donis. They make it a habit that they prefer you not date black men. Everybody knows this.
That is true.
And it's a big deal. You can date anybody, just don't blame no Negro.
Well, Trump's gonna clean out the swamp, so you'll be happy in 3 years' time. Don't worry.
and let me read these super chats real quick. FBI Young Lion, thank you for $1.99. Holla, that bush meat suya is not kosher, Dinus. Okay. FBI Young Lion is good though. Guti is great. Grass cut it tastes great. Don't knock it till you try it. FBI Young Lion, thank you for $4.99. Holla, if you agree, Dinus should stop discriminating against his dear FBA brother and make me mod like this comment. FBI Young Lion, thank you for $1.99. Holla, Ivy lives in Rancho Cucamonga with Uncle Elroy. Was that off of Friday?
Hey, I would never go east of the city. Thank you.
Yeah, but and Dinus, my guy from Brittany, I don't know what he keeps meaning like Donald Trump is cleaning the swamp. We're citizens of a country. You should not be here. If you don't have the legal right to be here. I can't go to Britain and do that. Why do you expect America to let people just run rampant in our country? You won't let them do it in Britain. So why you expect us to do it?
It seems you're arguing with yourself. I'm not saying that what Donald Trump is doing is wrong. I'm saying
it sarcastically. I know.
Yeah, because I've said this to Dinus. I don't understand why people who support the Republicans or Trump come up here angry. Trump's doing what you want. He's getting rid of the immigrants. You should be happy doing cartwheels and backflips. I don't understand why you still.
I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Amen to everything you just said. This man did not hide one thing he said he was going to do.
I'm a Democrat. I do not support Donald Trump. I just agree with him on that point. I am a Democrat, a diehard Democrat.
Right, but Donald Trump told everybody when he ran that he was going to have the largest deportation in the history of the United States. It was written all over his website. He said it. These Latino men, particularly, voted for Donald Trump, so they're getting exactly what they voted for. I don't have any problem with them going
because they didn't think they was talking about them. He was talking about all of them.
Yeah, they're stupid. Of course he was talking about them. You heard how he talked about them the first time he ran for president, and he never backed down from it. So he never specified who he was talking about. He said, "We're going to take all illegal aliens and we're going to throw them all out the country." That's what he said.
Can I make a statement? One thing I noticed is that a lot of Latinos, they voted for Trump, and a lot of Latinos have told me who voted for Trump, because we don't really have a dog in this fight, but they told me that they want illegal Latinos out.
Well, good.
We doing what they want then.
Yeah,
right.
Because blacks didn't vote for it. I mean, keep it real. You can look at the numbers of who voted for Trump. I mean, most black people voted for Harris.
Kamala. Yes. Not Kamala. Kamala. Everybody get her name right, because I did vote for her.
They voted.
Well, she can't get her race right. So why should I get her name right? But anyway,
she's an AKA, bro, from Howard University.
Okay, now listen. Don't you bring up the AKAs?
That is a fact.
That's what she is, though.
Don't you bring it up?
That is a fact.
It is a fact, but she will be a wonderful president of AKA.
Right.
No, I don't think Kamala ever denied her race. She went to HBCU, bro. I think she knew who she was. Let's not play that game.
No, it's not. It's not a game. If you go back to her, she is brown on both sides of her family. It's just a fact. If you go back to her hometown, you talk to her relatives, take a look at them. You tell me if you see a black person anywhere in sight.
Well, if that's the case, my mother's Native American and I'm black, so I'm the same thing as she is.
No, I'm not talking about you being mixed race. What I'm saying is that
I'm black.
You just said you're Native American, right?
Well, if you go on your DNA, you probably 25% European. It's what you. It's not what you call me. It's what you answer.
No, that's that. Well, okay. I mean, that's the American way. So we'll go with that.
Hey, stop, Diners. Anybody on here that's African American who is not more than 30% Caucasian that's African American?
I'm not. I'm only like 13.
Okay.
I'm 91. I'm 91% African.
Diners, that's rare though. That is very, very rare.
I don't know. It depends.
You're telling the truth, sir. You're telling the truth.
Omo Yoruba ni dynasty Omo Yoruba.
Yeah, Omo Yoruba. Yeah, Omo Minde. I'm like 12% European.
The average African American is about 25 to 30% Caucasian. That's just the fact.
Okay. But anyway,
that's an undisputable fact.
No.
That's not that's not true.
Bruh, you had 400.
Ridiculous.
Stop for a minute. You got 400 years of slavery. Do you not think how many black women you think them men slept with?
That was not common in every place where they had slavery. It was not common in Mississippi. It was not common in places like Alabama. It was not common in places like South Carolina.
Bro, I'm from Mississippi. Even after slavery, the man who's at the bank used to sleep with your mama. The man who used to give you food on credit used to sleep with your auntie. That's still that went on for years and years, almost up into the 1960s, bro.
Okay. Back to my original point.
But yeah, I
want to get back to my original point about Kamala and her ancestry. Again, if anybody could go on YouTube and you guys can look up there was a Jamaican woman from around here in DC who went back.
Candace Owens, she exposed it to.
Yeah, she exposed it too. But there was a woman who actually did
what are y'all
a
exposing?
deep dive.
Is her father not black?
No,
no.
Her father is multi-generationally mixed.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, but the
Indian.
thing is, okay, so
We
do
all
we
are.
say,
We
do
all
we
are.
say Steph
Nah,
Curry? It's
nah,
not.
Not to this extent. What
Not
I'm trying to tell you guys.
No.
If you guys saw her relatives, internet, they look like dark-skinned
You
Indian
cannot
people.
take somebody's blackness, bro. It's not your job.
But
It's not.
Steph
I'm not
Curry,
taking anything. I'm just speaking the facts.
If
is
she
Steph
says
Curry black?
if she identifies herself as African American, and she does, that is not your right, nor your right to take anybody's identity.
But it's biology. It has nothing to do with me.
Clearly,
It has
Do we
nothing.
consider
Kamala
Steph
Harris
Curry?
ain't black, bro. We
Do we
not gonna
consider
play
Steph
this
Curry
game.
black? I'm just
How
asking.
this fake Indian, this fake black person
Man,
try to act Indian.
y'all,
This Indian try to act black. When she first ran for the senator, she introduced herself as the first Indian American. It wasn't
Exactly.
all. It was only until she ran, knowing how black people vote. Now she want to be a sister girl and duped all these Negroes. You see, the problem with black people, which is so frustrating, is that you don't even see when you're being duped. You don't see when you're being pandered to. You don't see when you're being played with. That's why Hillary Clinton can go on a Breakfast Club talking about she got hot sauce in her purse. That's why when Roland Martin brings out politicians, he dances with them. Politicians play with you because you're not a serious group of people and you don't act like you're a serious group of people. That's why Kamala Harris says she washes greens in her bathtub, because she understands that she's not dealing with the serious group of people. She's
There are
dealing with
videos.
goofies who fall for anything. And then
Exactly.
y'all over here, you're a black woman. No, she looks at you as a goofball.
Can I say this, Dennis? And I don't
Go
want to
ahead,
argue.
go ahead, Maximilian. Go ahead.
When Kamala said a tub, she did not mean a bathtub.
I think she meant a tub.
Man, she meant a bathtub, bro.
I don't know, Maximilian. She meant a bathtub, man. I don't know, man.
Let me answer. In the country, we call a big metal barrel. It looks like a big barrel. We call it a tub. Everybody's grandmama said, "Go get that tub for me so I can wash these collard greens." That's what she meant.
No, nobody is doing it like that. I'm thinking bathtub, bro. We would all got on that, man.
Maximilian, listen to me, Maximilian. She grew up in Oakland, California, man. Nobody in the West Coast was washing greens in what you talking about, man. Mama cleaned them shits out in the sink in the kitchen.
Bro, Indians like standing on things with their feet, bro. That comes from her culture, bro. That ain't black culture. That comes from India.
She has changed her backstory repeatedly. She has changed her backstory repeatedly. She's changed her backstory repeatedly, and she has lied repeatedly about her backstory because she knows full well there's not a lot of blackness going on in her family. She knows that.
Real quick, Maximilian. She said that her most prized possession was her too short mixed CD.
Well, come on, man. She said she smoked.
Why is she doing that, bro?
I mean, come on, Maximilian.
She also said she smoked weed. She said she smoked weed in college too. Now you don't remember,
bro. Did she say she listened to Tupac in the 80s or something?
Yeah. She said her most prized possession was her too short.
Bro, how can you as a black man not see that this Indian is pandering to you? To the lowest form of intelligence to you. How can you not pick that up and feel insulted by that? What do you know? Oh man, she listened to Tupac. She got my vote. That's a stupid way to vote, bro. Be serious, bro.
Because let me tell you, let me get an answer to that. The same way you can say that about her, you can say that about me. I'm multiracial. I'm Native American. My mother is Native American.
Is it okay when she was running for office in San Francisco, and you can find the videos all over YouTube, she did not claim to be first black anything. She said she was AAPI, right? Asian American Pacific Islander. That was the category she wanted to be labeled as. It wasn't until she started running nationally that she wanted to be included into this black thing.
So
right?
She just joined AK.
She lied.
The black vote. Exactly.
Hold. Let me finish. She lied. She lied about her background in that speech that she gave when she accepted the nomination. If you listen to that speech, you would think that she grew up in Oakland, California.
I got two questions.
Let me finish.
I'm gonna let you finish. She played
All right, cool.
JK. She went to Howard University.
Maximilian.
What's the first school she went to?
I know some white women who went to Howard, bro.
Maximilian, you don't have to be black to be part of the Divine Nine or go to HBCU.
But
what is the first college she went to?
She was identifying with her blackness.
What is the first college that she went to?
She wasn't my girlfriend, bro. I don't know that much about her.
Okay, she did not go to Howard University first out of high school, right? That's where she graduated from. She went to Vanier College in Montreal.
I graduated from Jackson State. I went to East Central Community College before I graduated.
So it's not a community college or anything like that. She went to a different university. Then she transferred into Howard University, and then she graduated from there, right? But she doesn't tell that story, right? Because she doesn't want to admit that for the first 17 years of her life, she spent most of the first 17 years of her life she spends in Canada, not in Oakland with the people she claims were like family, not with all these black people who she claims raised her and stuff like that. Her whole bio is a lie. It is easily found.
Can I ask you a question? Have you ever dated a white woman?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever dated a white woman?
In high school? What does that have to do with anything? In high school, sure.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Wow.
Sure.
Okay. So she ain't did nothing you ain't done.
What?
So when you
what?
Dinah, you getting my point?
No, nobody gets your point. That's a ridiculous point. I didn't lie about my background. I didn't lie when you asked me a question,
bro.
Let me tell you why. Everybody gets to make their own transitions through their life. I'm sure you wasn't so pro-black with that white girl you was dating.
Oh, Lord,
bro, you cannot be serious with this, bro.
Yeah,
so you saying when she decided to become president, now she is blackity black.
I said I was black the entire time. Bro. I said I was black the entire time. I was not an adult claiming to be something else.
Was you pro-black though? Was you pro-black?
So I mean,
bro.
we can start there.
Mm-hmm.
We can start there.
It's gonna make sense to y'all in a minute if you keep listening.
Bro, you can look at him and tell that he's black, bro. And I'm pretty sure, see, your argument doesn't work because I'm pretty sure if you look at probably when he applied for his first job, he put African American.
How do you look at somebody and tell they're black?
I'm just saying, like Kamala Harris is saying she is Indian. She's not claiming black. She only claimed that because she understands that the black community, she sees. I mean, listen. She panders to us like white people, bro. Like that doesn't bother you. Like she doesn't talk to you like a black man.
What bothers
she panders to you.
What bothers me is her name is Kamala Harris. Stop.
I'm not. No. Y'all call Trump Orange Man. I'm calling her Kamala Harris. Period.
I don't call.
And we ain't gonna have no double standards around here. Liberals been calling Trump Orange Man, Nazi. Y'all 45. Refuse to call him by his name. We're not gonna show y'all respect when y'all don't show respect. Ain't gonna be no double standards. Kamala Harris.
No, Kamala Harris. Do you realize that Kamala Harris is a better pronunciation than Joe Biden had of her name?
Her name is Kamala.
That's funny,
look up how Joe Biden used to say her name.
Let me put it like this. Hey, Dinah, I'm gonna say this. The worst thing you could ever do is mispronounce somebody's name. If you're a redneck and you're a Ku Klux Klan and your name is Mark, I'm gonna call you Mark. Don't act like you don't know what that woman's name is.
Bro, do they not call her 45, him 45 or 47?
That is a distraction. That is a distraction tactic that liberals have used to distract any conversation that is critical of Kamala Harris. Okay,
and Maximilian,
is to go through this name pronunciation thing. It's not even that we're mispronouncing. It's an emphasis on a letter.
If it's a distraction, why do you keep doing it?
It's a distraction because people like you will derail an entire conversation that it's not going the way you like it to talk about somebody's name.
Bro, exactly, bro. And this is why she cannot be a leader, bro. Because you can mispronounce, you can call Trump all types of names. Like, we don't focus on stupid stuff like that. We focus on the economy, illegal immigration, what's going on with these trade deals, jobs, things like that. But Democrats, because y'all run on nothing, y'all got to deflect with their name because you have nothing else. Y'all can't even repeat Kamala Harris policies. You know why? Because she don't even know her own policies. That's why you got to focus on her name. It's nothing politics. How does that help feed Americans on the table? How does that stop wars? How does that end illegal immigration focusing on her damn name?
First thing, you probably don't know me. I'm Maximilian. I run an oil company here. I don't dislike Donald Trump. I just told you 35 times I agree with a lot of things Donald Trump is doing. I'm a businessman first, but I'm also an American citizen. I believe in the Constitution, and I believe in things being done the right way. You can do both. You can chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. So I don't disagree with Donald
what I'm
Trump.
saying is that you do not see.
I really don't have a problem with Donald Trump, except I think he's a bad person to the core. I agree with some of his policies. I just think he's a mean-spirited person.
And that's
all
fine.
I'm saying.
But what I'm saying to you is, do you not
So I'm not
understand
no
why
damn
the
diehard liberal.
Kamala, do you not understand that distraction is what pisses the American people off about Democrats?
Can I
It's
finish?
always tone
Oh,
policing.
can I finish so you can know who I am? I do not agree with homosexuality. I do not agree with abortions. I agree with gun rights. I agree with people being taken out of this country that should not be here. So that means I'm in alignment with Republicans on the business side. On the social side, I also believe in Medicare. I also believe in taking care of the elderly and people who cannot take care of themselves. So I'm like down. You could call me independent, but I lean on
You're
Democratic
fiscally
side.
conservative and socially liberal.
Well, no, it's
There you
fine.
go.
No. But the question
So
I had to you
don't
is
call me a liberal. I'm not a liberal.
no. Okay, but
No, I
do
said
you understand?
I said fiscally. You said fiscally liberal. You're
Yeah.
socially. Yeah, right. You're
Yeah.
fiscally conservative and you're socially liberal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Max
Well,
Miller. What I'm saying is,
he's not socially liberal if he doesn't believe in
Oh,
abortion.
well, hold on. Once again, guys, get the like button. Thank you, FBA Online, guys. Hit the like button. Let me read these super chats. FBA Online, thank you for the $1.99 holla. Come on her Harris. Raphael Vigil Ladune, thank you for the €2. Spider-Man with the Howard. Okay. Guys, hit the like button. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. Ivy.
no. What I'm saying to Maximilian, I hear you, but I think you're missing the point. Like, what people can't stand about Democrats is always this tone police finger wagging. Yeah, now correcting us on her name. This is the annoyance that we have with the Democrat Party. Is that it's always correction. That's
Why
not how you say
why
this.
do you keep
Call
doing it?
this person a he, her, they, them. It's all this social agenda, all this telling us how to talk. We can't talk like regular Americans. We always gotta. No, we're tired of that, bro. We're tired of that. And look, man, our maybe someone can help me out. Vernacular. Look, we are American citizens, man. People don't even know how to pronounce my name.
But
My
you
real name
know how to
is, and
pronounce.
I got a Muslim name. I don't even care because you know why? These are Americans. That's not their vernacular. So yeah, they are not being disrespectful calling her Kamala.
No,
That's
they're
just how they
intentionally.
probably how they say it with their accent.
They're
No one's
intentionally
being
doing that.
disrespectful. No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
no. If you
and
look at her
here's
name,
the deal.
it sounds like a Kamala. If you pronounce it,
Right.
it's with all due respect. It's with
Right.
all due respect, literally.
So my name is Alan, right? My godfather was a Jamaican man who loved me dearly, right? And because he's Jamaican, I never once called me Alan. It was always Halan.
Right.
I didn't feel disrespected by that. He pronounced my name differently because from a different culture.
That's not intentional.
It was, but no,
my name
that's how he pronounced. That's how he said my name.
Right.
I didn't correct the man and say, call me. No, it's Alan. Emphasis on the Alan, right? On the A. No, I didn't do that.
My name is Tariq, and I get called Tariq all my life, bro. And you know what? Who cares, bro? I know people are not trying to be disrespectful.
Yes,
I know
they
they're
are.
not
Yes,
trying
they
to
are.
be.
Yes.
No, they're
better
not.
than
No,
that.
they're
You know
not.
better.
Come on, man.
You think when a white man
But bro, that's what I'm
Kamala
saying.
Harris
Democrats
Kamala.
got to focus on policy and stop trying to tone police everybody, man. And I'm not calling you a Democrat. I'm talking about the party.
They will continue to lose elections if they continue to do this type of stuff.
Let me say this.
Because we spent the past almost 10 minutes talking about a name.
But you learn how to
Exactly,
pronounce somebody's
and it
name.
does nothing, bro. The illegals are still getting deported. It's crazy, man.
I got no problem with that, but don't be in. Let me tell you why I have a problem with it. Because being from Mississippi, a white man will intentionally mispronounce your name, knowing how to pronounce your name. You remember Kuta Kinte? Your name is Toby. That's where that comes from. He intentionally mispronounced her name. Don't y'all play into that. Say, I don't agree with her, but I know what her name is.
No. Now, your name is Maximilian, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's not my real name.
Now, if you told me that and I pronounced it wrong and I still pronounce it wrong to your face, that is very disrespectful. That is disrespectful. I will agree with you.
That's where I'm coming from.
If I started calling you something else, I agree. I haven't even heard Kamala. I mean, look, man, I'm not trying to disrespect her name. I haven't even heard her say, "Call me Kamala." I only heard her aides and people around her. Like
Even
it's
Muhammad
just
Ali.
what Americans say. Like you look at her name, it's not an American name, and it pronounces as Kamala, and it's not trying to be disrespectful, bro.
You
It's just
you remember?
not.
Do you remember Muhammad Ali when they kept calling him Cassius Clay?
That's not the same
Bro,
thing.
bro, that's a
It
different.
is
That's
Come
the
not the
on,
same
exactly
bro.
the
thing.
same
Come
thing.
on,
It's the
bro.
same
Come
thing.
on, bro.
That's not the same
Bro,
thing.
bro. Come on, stop it, bro.
Tell me
Stop
the
it,
difference. Tell
man.
me the
Come
difference.
on,
We are
bro.
literally calling her by
Come
the
on,
name.
bro.
It's just an emphasis on. It's literally the emphasis on a word based on our language and our on our
Yeah,
accent, right?
we are very
Same way.
we're
That's the
very
reason why the
intelligent
better
men.
comparison. The better comparison would be what the example I gave you, right? My Jamaican godfather, Helen. My name's not
Come on,
Helen. There's no H in front
bro.
of my name, but
Now
he would
you
call me that, and I didn't
bullshitting.
have a problem
You
with it.
bullshitting. Her
That's bullshit.
her little niece even said her name is Kamala, like a comma. La. Her niece went on there and said that. When a 4-year-old can tell you how to pronounce her name, y'all doing that shit intentionally.
Okay,
I don't like it.
Maximilian,
I
I
don't like
agree
it.
with you, but Maximilian, the Democrats correcting people, I'm sorry. I just think it's so. I'm not calling you this, but I'm calling the
Right.
other, the Democrat. It just seemed like it was so disingenuous. It was a way to score points. And they usually tell it to the white conservative who don't know how to handle the angry black liberal on CNN or
Right.
MSNBC. It's Kamala. Just to trying to call them racist because they're calling them Kamala.
Because
The whole
because
name thing, it's all
they were
politics,
being
bro.
racist. They were being
It's all
racist.
politics. Look,
No, that was
nobody
racism.
corrected her name in 2020. We
Okay.
now just started correcting her name in 2024. It's all politics. When she wasn't the front runner, everyone was calling her Kamala. Nobody had a problem with it. Now,
Like like
2024 has a
like
problem. It's all politics, bro.
like Barack
Getting
Hussein
back,
Obama too, right?
getting back to her and her background.
Barack
Get,
Hussein Obama.
getting back to her background. Okay.
Okay.
She is not. First of all, she claims to have grown up in the flatlands of Oakland. If you listen to her acceptance speech at our nomination speech, she was out there saying that was a blatant lie. She did not grow up in the flatlands of Oakland. She stayed there a very brief period of time. She was out of Oakland for so long because her mother moved her away from her so-called black daddy or multiracial black daddy and raised her by herself in Canada as an Indian woman.
I got you. That's a
That
dead
that
conversation. I'm gonna defend my sister's blackness, so that's how I'm gonna always do that. We
I,
can disagree to
okay.
disagree.
How do you
Max, oh
explain
my
that?
God, bro.
That doesn't make any sense. She wasn't raised around black people. She was raised in Canada,
Exactly.
with Indian people, and French Canadians. She wasn't even in English speaking. She wasn't in Ontario.
I was
She
raised
was
on a Native American reservation. That don't mean I'm
she
not
was
Bro,
black.
I would respect her more if she came out as Indian and had policies and she didn't pander to black people. Like all
Thank
that
you.
fake sister go pander. I would really have more respect for her. But
That's all I'm
that
saying.
fake bro, even
Bruh,
regular black people saw through that. Like, what the
bruh.
hell is she doing? She holding up the
Look,
Wakanda forever sign. It's
no,
like,
see,
what are you
see,
doing? What are
this
you
is my
doing?
thing.
Talk
I
to
went to
us like
school.
we're people.
I went to school with 99.9% Native Americans. I still identify myself as a black guy. You probably would say I'm not black. Because the Native Americans, my little name is on the post. Every time I do something, they put it on the wall. The
You
Choctaw
look black.
Central student. Yeah,
Maximilian, I
yeah.
think you're not understanding that she didn't claim to be African American until she ran. That I think
For
that's
national
what you're
office.
missing, man.
For
Like
national office.
it exactly, and that's an
Let's
insult to our intelligence behaving that way. It's
let's
almost it's almost being a traitor to our race because you're just trying to play that card to use me for my vote. You don't care about being black. You're just acting that way to obtain my vote, and I don't respect that about you.
well she
Don't
lost.
be that
She
way.
lost.
Just
So
claim what you were the whole way, and I would have we wouldn't even be talking about it, Ray. We would have way more respect. We would delve deep in their policies. But that sister girl stuff killed her, man.
let's just disagree to disagree on that one. Because we're not gonna, we can go, I'm gonna do this all night. And y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do all night. So yeah, I love y'all as brothers, especially
You're
y'all
right,
female,
but
which I respect it.
Man, I ain't mad at you, man. I mean, this is a respectful disagreement. Hey, let me tell you like this: on Dinah's panel, this is one of the more respectful disagreements than
Uh,
what it usually gets, man.
yeah,
So you
we're
know,
no, no, it's
man, it's cool, man.
we're intelligent young men. You ain't got to call you names and all that. If I
no, no,
disagree,
no.
I
We no,
disagree with the point.
and I hope you don't feel like anybody was
No, no,
disrespecting you.
no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
I haven't
I
called
just
no one name.
No,
right. I just can't
I
I
watched
just
the
can't
other
agree with that.
shows. I watched the other shows though.
Hmm.
That me and you agree on everything. We're gonna be twins. So and we're not twins. So come on. I'm
Right.
still gonna respect you. Me and Dinosaur
Now,
agree on
let me
everything.
ask you a question on Maximilian, because you did say you vote for Kamala. I'm gonna say her name out of respect to you. Let me ask you a question though, man, because you
Yeah.
do agree with Trump's policy. So I'm just curious. Do
Some
you
of
think
his
if she
policies.
would
Some
have
of his
won
policies.
some of his policies, do you think if she would have won, what areas would she have been better than Trump? Do you think she would have been better on the immigration front, the trade deal front, dealing with Russia, Ukraine, Israel? Like, what areas do you think she would have been better than Trump?
I can answer those questions real easy. First thing, she wouldn't have been caught trying to cut Social Security and trying to
Hmm.
give a $4 trillion. And I need the money. I do okay. I'm one of them 1%ers. I'll take a tax break. I owe the IRS $500,000, and Trump just cut 250,000 off of that because I can claim shit that I used to couldn't claim. That does my auntie that's got $30,000, $3,000 in the bank no good. People like me have no complaints about Donald Trump. If I look at my own interests, yes, I should vote for all. I should have been voting for Republicans from the day my daddy started my business, our oil company. We've been running for almost 40 years. But I look at my aunties and my sisters and my cousins that need the Social Security, need that SNAP, those benefits. I need that need that stuff. I don't vote in my interest. I vote in the people that surround me interest. The Bible said, "What profit be a man to gain the world and lose his own soul in the process?" My people are my soul. So I vote against my own interests at times, if that makes sense.
I'm not fully sure about maybe I could be incorrect. I don't know if I fully heard about this cutting um, Social Security. I'm just saying I believe that would be a
Medicaid.
losing strategy for Trump because a lot of Republicans are on that too. But I'll look into that. I
They
mean, I'm
don't.
being honest, I
They
haven't heard.
don't.
No,
I think that would have been
Republicans.
huge.
No,
They don't
well,
like it. They don't.
Because that,
Trump
I
is
think a
doing
lot of
things.
Republicans would hate that.
Right. No. Trump
But
is doing things that Republicans have been
and
trying to do for generations, and cutting
yeah,
Social Security is definitely one of them.
yeah.
He's actually trying to cut Social Security. He is this all these cuts he's doing from the in the government. That was all stuff that was originated by a conservative philosopher named Milton Friedman.
Mhm.
Milton Friedman is the person who talked about you can cut all the government and stuff like that, and that's where Doge comes from and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So he's doing exactly what conservative ideologues have been wanting to get done since the 1970s.
Even what's in my best interest. He's really doing what's in my best interest. He wants to abolish the IRS. I'm the first person to vote for it
I
because
think that's in everybody's interest, abolishing the IRS.
no
I
somebody who's
think
doing
yeah, we don't want to pay taxes. That's actually good. But no,
but
just on the
but
social
we
security. Go
also
ahead. Go
can't
ahead.
get roads built that way either though. The government works on taxes, so we have to stop being
I
selfish
think we can
sometimes.
find other ways. No, but here's the
Yeah,
thing. No,
yeah.
I gotta look into that. But from what I am hearing, the security safety net, and I'm talking about, all of the social programs, housing, Medicare, and all that. I did hear that is bankrupting the country. Now, I can agree to the criticisms of Trump. Like,
Right,
if you're gonna cut those programs, see, now here's a problem that I do have to read Republican Party.
right.
We can keep those social safety nets and cut the military spending, cut all the foreign aid or
No,
interfering
I,
in
I
foreign
don't, I
countries'
don't, I don't, I
wars,
don't, I don't, I
the
don't agree with the
Pentagon.
military spending. We
Yeah,
need to, we
yeah,
need,
yeah. What I'm
we
saying,
need to
if
keep our
Trump cuts
military up
that,
though.
we can fund all these other social programs easily. So that is valid. But if he's going to cut the social programs and then ignore the military spending, that's not going to go too well. I The
Well,
Republicans will lose the
hey,
House, I
hey,
believe, if he
can I
does that.
can I give you an example? And I'm gonna be honest. The Republicans don't want to go with Donald Trump on that because they know that's a losing deal with Social Security, Medicaid.
And I'm not
It is.
bragging.
It is. I totally agree with that. It is. It's
I'm
a
not.
losing deal.
I'm not bragging at all. But I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. And Dennis knows this. I spend $15, $100 a week on my bar tab. That's what I spend at the bar. These people don't make that in a month, and he's trying to get me a tax break.
Bro, man, you out here like Andrew Tate, man. You got you 3 wives?
No, I Dennis knows me personally. He knows I ball like that. And I went a damn Daytona Rolex. What do I need a tax break for? I'm looking for another one. Do I need a tax break?
Yeah, you know
You
what I'm
need a
saying? Like
tax break so you can hire more people to work for your company, sir.
That's not what that's about, baby. It's greed. when Warren, what's his name? What's the richest guy? Warren. I get Warren Buffett. It's Warren Buffett, right?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett said that the worst thing you can ever do is give me some more money. When I got enough money, I want to give all the money I got away. That means I got too much money. Warren Buffett is giving away 95% of his money to just giving it away and leaving his children with 3% of his money, and they'll still have $30 billion. What kind of money you think that man has?
That the only issue I have, man, I hear what you're saying about Trump and the tax rates, but I do think that Trump renegotiated. And you said you are looking out for everyone. I'm looking out for everyone too. I do think that Trump renegotiating the trade deals, hopefully, encourages American manufacturing jobs to come back to America. Hopefully,
That's
and
not going to happen.
hopefully, yeah, and you're right. It's probably I think Trump needs to do a better job. To be honest, if I was him, we
And
do
I
need to
actually,
do something with the union.
I actually like Trump's policies. I'm just saying, he just don't think sometimes. Come on, bro, you got to think about the smaller people
Yeah, but
sometimes.
man, look, man, whatever he's doing, in my opinion, is monumentally would have been way better than Kamala. I think her policy would. In fact, I think she would have done nothing, and things would have just got worse. The fact that he's trying to renegotiate trade deals for American businesses and people back at home, and the fact that look, even with the immigration situation, legal immigration, we
Okay,
get back on topic.
so we
Just
agree
the
with
fact, like,
immigration. We all agree
if
on
we put a
immigration.
dent in that, I think for black men, like, they may not, be starting oil companies, but if they could if we as black men could take back over construction, man, that'll be good, man. Just stuff like
Anything.
that. Like I know like black handymen who they can't compete with the illegals with the handyman work. They
They
just
they
can't.
they need to go. I'm telling you, I agree with that
Yeah,
totally.
yeah, exactly.
I'm
Like I
in
think
no
things like
way.
these is
But
good, man.
I think if I like them, I want them to have due process. But let's be honest, you in the country illegally, get the hell up out of here. So it's just Donald Trump's gonna do it his way. I don't agree with it, but I like what he's doing. I'm not gonna sit in. I would be a liar to sit and say I don't want these people out this country.
So
And
you
so
you
it,
you
it
not
ain't.
gonna protest?
It's not. No, hell no. What am I protest for? I'm gonna protest if he let them back in. So I don't like
Yeah,
the
man,
way he.
but it's stuff like this, man. I think you see, this is the thing. Democrats need to change, ain't it, man? The problem I have with the Democrats is they don't have anyone who runs like it just runs counter to the status quo. I feel like the Democrats is like they are pro CIA, FBI, pro war, just pro everything that's just establishment.
I
They
think the
don't have a
Democratic
single
Party is.
candidate that's gonna well. One thing I can say is they did have Bernie,
I think they've
and then they
learned a lot.
railroaded
I
him.
think they learned a lot. I think they've learned a lot through this term.
But man, I don't think they did, man. Did
Well,
you hear about David Hogg being kicked out of the president as the DNC chair because
yeah.
there was no
No, you talking
gender
about the
equity balance or something?
you
It's
talking about
stupid stuff
you
like
talking about
that, bro. They're
you
not
talking about
they're not learning.
you talking about the U.S. senator they just put in handcuffs?
No.
No,
David
no,
Hogg.
David
Y'all
Hogg.
know who David Hogg is, right?
Y'all see what they just
He's
did to
that
the U.S. senator
shooter
though, right?
survivor from some school shooting survivor. He was the vice DNC something. And they kicked them out because of there wasn't like enough the correct gender disparity, some old gender
Okay.
nonsense, and it's just stuff like that, bro.
Well,
They're not learning, man.
let's talk
They're
about
not
the U.S.
learning, man.
Let's talk about the U.S. senator, Dennis. Let's talk about that. What's your opinion on that, Dennis?
Oh, you talking about the guy who got thrown out of Christy Noem's press
No, it's not.
conference or whatever the heck
No,
that was?
it's not the guy. It's a U.S. senator.
Yeah. No, I think that was warranted. Listen, look, from Christy Nome and her security perspective. You got some man. First of all, you don't know who he is who was
They
yelling
knew
at you.
exactly. He's a U.S. senator
No,
in
no, you don't.
California.
And then on top of that, he's being loud, abusive, and abrasive. He's not like she's.
He's a
But hold on,
U.S.
bro.
senator.
But bro, hold on. But you're making a speech. Like just imagine you are talking for your business. It don't matter.
Okay.
It don't matter who this person is. You got some loud, abrasive person. It don't matter what their status is. You're talking to the people of your company, and you got somebody loud and abrasive, just disruptive. You're gonna want them to get up out of there. Now
Who
you'll
is Chris?
find out who they
But
are later.
my
But it's like,
question
hey,
is,
bro, I was talking, and you was
my
just being
question is,
rude.
who is Chrissy Knowles as an appointed official for Donald Trump to an elected U.S. senator? That was shameful.
It doesn't matter, man. He was being rude.
He's
You got to
a
get up
U.S.
out of there,
senator.
man. And then you're giving so what you're saying is senators can have special privilege to just be rude, loud, and
Yes,
abrasive,
yes,
and
because
Christy Nome has to deal with it. Come on, man. You can't be
she's not a
realistic on that.
Chrissy Nome is not an elected official. Nobody put
It
Donald
doesn't
Trump put Chrissy
matter.
Nome there.
It doesn't, bro.
Bro, let me be
Yo,
honest.
Dennis, you got to
Chrissy
pull up
Nome
the
is
video
right here.
because she responded to this.
A U.S. senator is right there. He's right under the president. That's what senators are.
I promise you, man. I promise you.
For
If this
law
was
enforcement,
a black woman,
to put their hand on a U.S.
hold
senator
on,
is shameful.
Maximilian, I promise you, if this was a black woman, if this was a liberal black woman under the Biden administration, and it like Kareem Jean-Pierre and some white Trump conservative senator did like that white dude, I promise you,
If
you
that was
wouldn't
a
have
white,
this conversation. They
no.
will be
If
calling
that
that white senator
no.
racist towards a
If
black woman.
if that was a white
That's
senator
what will
and
happen.
you put handcuffs on a white Republican senator, I would have a problem with that. He's a United States senator, one of the highest offices in this
No,
land.
but
You
it
get that
doesn't
man
matter,
there and
man.
get that.
It does not give them the right to
But
be rude. Nah, man. We not, man. We not playing that,
the
man.
people put him there
Why did he get arrested?
because he asked her a question.
He didn't get arrested. He got forcibly
He
removed.
and they put him
He
on.
got detained and removed, but he didn't get arrested.
A
He
standing
didn't get
United
arrested.
States senator got thrown on the
Bro,
ground.
Christy Nome is having some type of speech or press. I don't know what it was, and he
Who
was
is
being
Christy
rude.
Nome to a U.S.
Loud,
senator?
but it does. Okay, man, we are going in circles. We got to agree to disagree.
Yeah, let's not agree with
And
that. But see that,
we not. I don't agree with a senator being loud, abrasive, and rude in a press conference, and they're not going to use their "well, I'm a senator, I can do so." Nah, man. And then on top of that, we all know it is grandstanding for illegal
I get that.
immigrants.
But see,
It's
that's when the law.
grandstanding.
I know why he did it, but that's when we start going into some stuff that we ain't trying to get into. When you can start throwing senators on the ground, calling judges, Obama judges, Trump judges, Supreme Court said that there's no such thing as Obama judges. We're all judges. When you start,
This is the stuff. Maximilian,
you
I'm
gotta be
sorry,
careful
man,
with
but
that.
this is the stuff that people are tired of. Just this hierarchy. You don't do this. This is what I'm talking about with the Democrats. People are tired of this, man.
We have a
People are
constitution.
tired of this, man. We can be nice and we don't do this, and guess what? No results. We get an Obama, we get a Biden, we get a George W. Bush. No results. People are tired of this, man.
But we have a
We're tired of this.
constitution, though,
We're gonna
bro. We have
play
a
nice.
constitution.
We're not gonna rock the boat. We're gonna follow. People are tired of this, man. That's why Trump
So
won. We
so
want a
we're not
change agent.
so we're not gonna follow.
We're tired of it.
We're not gonna follow the Constitution. That's your
No.
answer.
But there is nothing in the Constitution that says you can't throw a rude senator out who's acting rude in a press conference. Now,
Yes, there is.
it could be etiquette. Maybe it's not ethical.
No.
Maybe it's not ethical.
There's
But
a
nah, man,
separation.
and this is like,
Okay.
but Maximilian, do you not understand that the American people don't care about this, man?
It's not. Yes, the American people.
Like this doesn't
Right.
affect. Look, it doesn't affect you because you are good. But the American who's struggling, or the single mom who's struggling, who's trying to put food on the table, ain't got no job. This doesn't affect them, man. They don't care about this. They
You
care
ever
about
heard?
Trump doing something about the
Hey,
economy.
let me ask you a question. Martin Luther King said it best. He said, "Injustice anywhere is injustice." What?
No. A senator
I
being rude and abrasive being thrown
what he
out,
said.
that ain't no injustice,
I
man. I'm
asked you
sorry. That's just a rude individual.
I asked
I
you
know
a
where you're
question.
going.
What did he say? He said, "Injustice anywhere is injustice." What?
I know, but I'm not going to
No,
repeat it because it doesn't apply.
I asked you a question. Answer the question.
It doesn't
Injustice,
apply.
injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. The
It
Constitution
doesn't.
applies.
Oh my God.
Whether I agree with you or not, I have to go by what the Constitution and the
And see,
law is.
bro, Maximilian, look at what we're talking about. So think about the conversations we had so far. We talked
Yeah,
about
we've been good. We've been good, but
Kamala's name. And
right.
now these are small things, bro. This is what I'm talking about. I don't care about this senator being thrown out. What does that have to do with policy? You know what I'm saying? Like now we're having 10 minutes talking about a senator being thrown out, and
No,
who
because
cares, man?
no, I care because it's called due process in the Constitution. It has to matter, brother. Because if I make an exception for them, they'll make an exception for them, and they'll make an exception for you. Then our Constitution breaks down.
But
We
what
can't
does
do
the
Man,
that.
all right, man.
Constitution? What does the Constitution have to do with someone busting into a press conference or
He
a
did not
meeting
bust
and
into the.
disrupting a meeting?
He was
He did
I
being
not bust.
cannot
rude,
bust into
bro.
the
Rude and
CEO's
abrasive.
office and act like that. It was unprofessional. It was an embarrassment
You can
for him to
ask.
I
do
can
that
make
to
I can make a
someone.
better
So
argument.
they
Let
would
me tell
say
you.
the same thing if a
You can
white
ask.
conservative did
You
that
can.
to Kamala or any black woman, liberal woman. They will be calling that white man a racist, and it serves them
No,
right for being thrown out.
you can ask a U.S. senator to
Oh,
leave. You don't put your hands on a U.S. senator. It's just not
First of
something
all,
you
Bro,
he
do.
you
rushed. First of
cannot
all, he
be
rushed in
serious,
there. He
bro.
rushed in there. So you don't know if this man, it was
They know
crazy.
who their U.S.
They
their
didn't even know who he
California senator
was. I
is.
watched the thing. He rushed in there. He's
You
lucky
don't think
that he
those
didn't
people
get knocked
know
out
who
the
they
way he
send?
Bro,
rushed in
I
who
know
there.
who
are
John
these U.S.
Asap is.
senators, bro?
What's
They
wrong
ain't
with
I know who
God
him?
over
John
here. Come
Asap
on,
is.
man. What? Don't put no hands on U.S. Man, throw it
That
on
was not
Nah, bro.
appropriate.
Come on.
Come on, y'all.
Exactly. It was not ethical. He was being very rude, and they treat him accordingly.
I don't have to be. No, law
He
enforcement don't
was
get
being
into
rude.
law
So,
enforcement
so
don't get into
Max
rude.
Miller. So, what was they supposed to do? Just let him interrupt because the center. What?
No,
How do you
no.
handle that?
Go back and look at it. The man said, "I have a question." I'm a U.S. senator. That's the
Yeah,
first thing he
but
said.
Maximilian, he's
But that
yelling while
wasn't the
she's
place for
talking.
the question. That wasn't the place for the
Exactly.
question. The thing is, that was unprofessional. I have a question,
Okay,
but do I bust into the CEO's office when the
Exactly.
CEO is in a meeting with other people and
he
rush in there and demand
he.
to ask my question?
Exactly.
It's not
Demand an
appropriate.
answer. Like,
See
who the
That
hell
what
was
are
y'all are
you?
unprofessional.
what y'all are missing is she's not the CEO. He is the CEO.
Oh my
He's a
God,
U.S.
That
senator.
Maximilian.
man is an embarrassment to California. That's
That
all I'm
man's a
going to
U.S.
say.
senator. He's a U.S.
Maximilian.
elected.
How
He's
He
an
was
is
he
from
elected
supposed to
U.S.
handle?
senator.
How was
California.
he supposed
He
to
has
handle
an
it?
agenda, and it was embarrassing.
California clearly don't think he's an embarrassment
Maximilian,
because they
how
elected
was
him.
they supposed to handle this man
You
yelling at
ask the
her?
man, you ask Senator such and such, would you please leave? That's all you got to do. That's a senator. I
Nah,
wouldn't go in
man.
there grabbing a little cutlass.
And now, Maximilian, we all know that he was grandstanding for the cameras and for illegal immigrants. Was he really going to say, "Okay, I'll leave"?
Well, you should have gave him the
Maximilian,
opportunity.
has that ever worked for a protester? Be honest.
No,
Asking
no,
protester, "Okay, can you
yeah,
please?" Come on, bro.
but
That's
I'm
never
That
talking.
man
worked
is
in
against
history, bro.
reparations.
Come
That
on,
man
bro.
is against reparations for the descendants of slaves. That man is a California
Okay,
politician
but
who's against reparations.
no, he's not a California politician. He's a U.S. senator.
That man is originally from California.
He's a
Look it
U.S.
up.
senator.
That man is
Oh my
originally
God,
from
bro. This is
California.
That's
He
Maximilian,
was
man.
elected.
I'm
put in
telling
that
you, man.
office.
People are tired of this,
California
man.
sent him
No,
there.
yeah, you're elected by the people of California, just like we have a
He is an
Georgia senator.
embarrassment.
Maximilian,
And when he
you are
was
low
here, he
key
was
tone policing, bro.
Well, if
anti-reparations.
he's an embarrassment, why would he be a senator? The people of California clearly don't think he's an
Maximilian, you are
embarrassment. They elected him.
Maximilian. This is what, and I know you're not a Democrat, but I'm saying
Right.
this is the annoying tone policing, sidetracking. It's just this solves nothing, bro. It solves
I
nothing to even care
I
about
think
this.
I think they should have.
To
I
even
think they could.
discuss this changes
Yeah.
nothing, bro. Nothing. I'm being serious,
I
man.
was shocked by that. I really was. I think the
All
American
right,
people
yeah,
were
I'm
shocked
out,
by that.
man. I don't think we were, bro. Let me tell you something, Maximilian. If we were shocked by that, we would be protesting on the streets. It seems like the American people are more, well, the Democrat Party are more shocked that Trump is deporting illegal immigrants instead of being angry that an American senator was being handcuffed. So it seems like the Democrat Party is more upset at what's going on with non-citizens
Okay,
than what happened with that American citizen.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
make.
all I'm saying.
I'm
I
gonna
got
make.
to bounce, y'all.
You ain't got to bounce, but I'm gonna make you a prediction. This country's finna go left in a bad way very soon because these two ideologies finna bump heads, and I don't know how it's gonna work out. because nobody's gonna let you run over their constitutional rights. And you know, you can do one thing, but if you're not gonna do it the right way, I'm telling you, this country's on a powder keg. I see it. Because, you know, that's why we have militias and stuff. Because now we have all these goddamn white supremacists up in these offices. And it's getting bad. I'm telling you. And y'all just watch my prediction. This is finna get bad. That's my prediction. Whether I'm right or wrong, I see which way this country is going. And it's not going in a good direction. I yield back.
Well, I hope that this country goes in the right direction.
It's not.
That's all I can hope for.
I see violence coming to this country. I see it. Because
but the country was founded on violence. So that won't be anything new.
We just saw January when the Republicans did their thing. The Democrats finna do their thing. I see it coming. Because you can only push people so, and I think that's what Donald Trump really wants. I think in the end of the day, I think that's what he really wants. I think he wants to see this country go to war with each other, and I think it's about to happen. Because I see it's going. It's not about just the Mexicans. It's about, I'll take you right here. I'm gonna have this military parade. If anybody does anything, I'm gonna have you locked up. You're talking to Americans.
But do you think that we should support our military?
That's our United States military. It's not Donald Trump's military.
No, I know, but what I'm asking, because
and it just happens to be on his birthday. Come on.
Well, I'm just saying, because they have military parades. I saw the Bastille Day parade
on his birthday. We don't have military, but we don't have kings here.
They don't have kings in France, but they still do a parade to honor. We do not
parade our military.
I think we should. I think it's
no.
I don't think it's anything wrong for us to have a military parade with other countries, because France is a republic.
That is not what Americans do. I was a Marine. I served the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be paraded in the street. My job is to defend this country, not to walk down the street.
I understand that, but do you think it's really
that's when
wrong?
You get tyranny.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that other republics, they do honor their military with parades.
But that's why they're not the United States of America.
I understand, but they're still our allies, sir. In the UK, in France, there's nothing wrong with it.
We do not do that here.
Our military. It was once upon a time that we had slavery here. We no longer have slavery.
I'm gonna answer
we can start traditions.
The reason we don't put our military on the streets, our military should never be involved with our civilians at any time. That's why we don't have armed military on our streets. Our military is to fight our enemies, not to fight our citizens. We have our law enforcement, we have our National Guard for that. The National Guard is people who grew up in the community. They work 2 weeks out of a month and they go train. They not Marines. Our Marines and Army guys went to battle other countries. They have no business on our streets.
And I get what you're saying. And hopefully we will never get to the situation that we will have to have our military on the streets. So hopefully never.
So we got a protest. We got the military parade. They call it a protest all around this country. You don't think it's going to be a clash? I think and that's not a good thing when when 50% of this country feels one way and 50 feels another way. That's democracy. That's how democracy works. When we start, ever since the insurrection that they did at the Capitol, now the Democrats saying, well, we can do it too. That's how democracy breaks down. You see what I'm saying? Well, if they broke into the Capitol, we might as well go do it too. And if they do it, we're going to shoot at them. If they do it, we're going to shoot back. That's how anarchy comes. When you have a leader that cannot lead his country and he's trying to push this country into anarchy, that's what I'm so afraid of. Donald Trump is a very dangerous man. I agree with his politics, but he's dangerous to our country, to our republic.
Well, have you ever watched the movie Civil War?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah. What kind of American are you?
Correct.
That's what we're coming to. What kind of American are you? And if you don't see that, and everybody's looking back, they should look at the Mexicans. You have to look at Donald Trump. He's a 80-year-old man who has ego like a 10-year-old. It's not, I don't think it's really Donald Trump, it's his handlers though. They want to see this anarchy. What's it, Stephen Miller? That's the guy you got to watch. That's the one who's trying to get all this turmoil. Donald Trump wouldn't give a damn whether he will go with Mexicans tomorrow if it was in his best interest. But Stephen Miller and them have other plans. They want to see this anarchy. They're trying to put people against each other, so we can get all that damn war, and then they'll be happy. And it's not going to work out the way they think it's going to work out.
Well, I think a civil war, it will make our economy weak and it will not be good for the country.
Do you not see this country going in that direction? Every other country in the world sees us going in the wrong direction.
I do see the stress. I do see the stress. I do feel that people are being alienated. And I do think a lot of natives or families who have been here for hundreds of years, they really feel like the country has turned their back on them. And I think that's dangerous because families who have been here for generations, we have fought in every war. And when people who family members have died in these wars and they are stressed and they feel like they're being pushed out, I think that's very dangerous. So we do have to include, we have to make sure that all Americans are included.
I think this country is going into a dangerous area. That's all I'm going to say. I see it. And everybody else in the world sees this. That's why the dollar's going down. That's why people are disinvesting from America. America's finna go through some stuff because this country is so split and people believe so much in Donald Trump that they willing to die for him. And it's got people on the other side that don't like him. And I'm not going to let no white man kill me. So you know how this finna work out, right?
But sir, do you really think?
Yes, I believe that.
Do you really think the tree huggers and that group of people are going to really be out in the streets fighting?
I don't think
and the Birkenstocks, and they're going to put down their lattes and pick up. I don't think so.
I don't think nobody's hugging trees anymore. I think we passed that point in this country.
I'm in California, sir. They are still hugging trees.
Well, everybody ain't like California. The rest of this country is like Georgia, Alabama. It's a lot of black folks that's kind of like, hey, please come on with it. Because it's a lot of, it's just a lot of white people like, yeah, we're going to put these black folks in their place. And black folks are like, come on, do it. So you see, when you get them two mentalities together and you have somebody stoking the fire, you see how it can go left real quick.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's where this country is going. And I'm sure the Central Intelligence countries in Britain, Europe, and all that see this happening in America. America's on a powder keg. It's a very unstable place right now. We're run by a bunch of bigots and lunatics. That's just the truth. We run by white supremacists that do some things that we want them to do, but they're really white supremacists. And so how they bringing people over from South Africa. How long do you think it's going to be before African Americans and white folks bump heads in this thing? That's the next war. When they say they're coming for us, they don't mean it in that way. We're going to bump heads with them.
But sir, they never stopped bumping heads with us. I think it's
going to be different this time. I think they're going to try to put us in our place, and we ain't going.
Well, if we're not going back into slavery, sir, so I just don't really think that it's yeah.
That's my prediction. I'm telling you, this country's in a very, very dangerous place now. Whether you see it or not, I see it. How it's going to play out, how it will come to fruition, I have no idea. But I see that there's a lot of people trying to stoke this, though. We'll take the Civil Rights Museum. We'll do this. We're going to deal with the Mexicans. We're going to deal with them niggas next. Excuse me, Dinus, but we next. But I'm not saying that we got to support the Mexicans, but they coming for us. But then we not like them, though. We're American citizens. And you can have a problem with us. But they just trying to cut the numbers down a little bit, which I don't know why they trying to do it, because the Mexicans, they was on their side. Yeah, they probably would have helped them. They probably would have helped the white people. So, but I see a conflict coming, though. And maybe I'm wrong, and hopefully I am wrong.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Me too. Well, sister, it was just me and you left. And
yes, sir.
I enjoyed talking to Dinus probably in the bed, and I got to go out here and go back to work. So I
Okay, sir.
love
Take
y'all.
care. Wonderful show.
You too.
Hey, Ivy.
Hey, Dinus, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can you please, in the future, do another show on this? Because sometimes I don't even think people realize the population of Black people in Latin America. They don't understand that there's over 100 and something million people of African ancestry in Brazil and other countries in Latin America, and that they are really, really marginalized. We are
Okay.
so spoiled compared to um, the descendants of slaves in Latin America.
Okay.
You know, but I really appreciate this. Hold on, I really appreciate this show.
Yes, ma'am. So everyone, we'll go ahead and close out. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dinus Mirror, search for Haru. Peace.